guys, welcome to another WoW Weekly with Myst. I hope everyone had happy holidays and a great Christmas and hopefully a safe one because a few of my friends had some definite weather issues this past week. And yeah, so I hope you all were safe and, got through it fairly decently. And yeah, so this week we have Mythics will be the weekly. The PvP brawl is going to be Comp Stomp. Winterveil's still going on. These are the two new gifts. I feel like I'm not really spoiling anything. It's been at least a couple of days. So these are the two new gifts that you get in the city. A lot of commotion going on about these gifts. I'm just going to put it out there. Getting a toy in the Winterveil is completely normal. That is how they've always done it. And yeah, anyone that was expecting much more than that, yeah, like I did a little piece a few weeks ago where, they had kind of like hinted towards a sleigh mount, but nothing was confirmed there, and I personally wasn't expecting it. Just because a toy has always kind of been their thing, you know? It makes more sense to get a toy than a mount during Winterveil because you're literally opening up a gift. Who gets a car in a fucking boxed gift, right? You get toys. So yeah. Although I guess, who knows, maybe someone out there has gotten like a set of keys and a small little gift box, but you know what I'm saying? You don't get the legit car in the gift. All I really care about is that I get a new achievement, and I got that, so yeah. I really only had one disappointing Winterveil year, and I think it was like a couple of years ago, where we didn't get an achievement, and I was like, what the fuck? That's kind of like the thing I look forward to, for Winterveil, is that new, you open gifts on Christmas Day or, during Winterveil, during this year, and I've always really enjoyed those ones. Staying a little on the Christmas theme, this week we will also have fireworks going on New Year's. So for those that are unaware, every December 31st, they do fireworks on the hour, all day, all night. So if you want to check out the WoW fireworks, just go to a main capital city. Also, this is the week that Dark Moon will start up, so great week for some rep and stuff. And that will be on Sunday. Also, this past week, we got access to the first wing of Elifar's Vault of Incarnates, which is the first and new raid of Dragonflight. And with that came the roll for your loot system returning. I'm not sure why they returned this. It did suck. I went in hoping for a helm to drop, and it did. And I lost against a rogue, which I can't be too mad about because they are leather, and there's, there was both agility and intellect on it, so it could have gone to either one of us. But still, I enjoyed the personal loot aspect for LFR. I'm totally all for that system when you're raiding with like a legit group, but for me, LFR, after you've set up your beginning expansion loot, of course, LFR is transmog runs for me. So it's it kind of sucks that it's gonna be a roll for loot because, well, you gotta remember that there's people like myself in the group. So later on, if you're on an alt that needs something out of here, you're probably rolling against someone who legit just wants it part of their collection, and that's unfortunate. Like I said, it's a good system to bring back when you're raiding with a legit team, but for LFR, I just don't think it's a really good system. I feel like I got more loot when it was personal loot, but on the topic of the LFR wings for the raid. This is the wing that will also be available for this week. The next wing doesn't come into effect till January 2nd. And then the third wing will be on January 16th. So don't expect a new wing of bosses this coming week. It'll be the same one. Okay, so for some news, most of the news has to do with the upcoming patch. So, new weapon appearances that are going to be in 10.0.5 is the Felstaff, the Fury of the Fire Lord, Fetid Bouquet, Battle Spoon, Valhalla, and Fell Lord Polearms. There's also been some new Bloodsail Buccaneer armor sets. So these are them here. They come in 3 different tints. There's been some more Legion raid armor appearances. So back in Legion, for those that are unaware, in the Trial of Valor, you could get these pieces 2 separate ways. One way was through a quest. It had you gather 1,000 soul fragments within the raid, and then you could just get it that way. And then, of course, there was the most rare one of all of them, which was the Mythic Ensemble set. And you only got it from the Chosen achievement, which is now an unobtainable. And it was to defeat Helya on Mythic difficulty without failing the test of the Chosen. It got you the title, The Chosen, and also opened up an ensemble set. So basically what they're doing now is they've added some new tints, and these will all come from the trading post. Okay, so cloth. And then this one's for leather. I actually really like this one. This one's for mail. And then this one is for plate. Personally, I think the cloth one's looking a little weak, but the other 3 look good. There's been some beanies, bandanas, and pirate hats. So here's the bandana. Here's some beanies. And some pirate hats. We also have some more flower bracelets. And some new shirts have been data mined as well. So we have this black and purple, which I'm loving. I think that shirt looks really good. The others are a little mediocre, but I do like that first one. A bunch of hoods have been data mined, so here they are. I'm really liking the pink and purple and even that teal. Yeah, that whole kind of line of hoods looks really good. There's also some scarves that have been data mined. Okay, so let's talk Trial of Style. So there's been some new stuff going on with that one. So all the weapons will cost you 50 tokens. We have the Anointed Crusader Claymore, the Death Mantle Ripper, the Jade Arcus, Zealot's Prayer Staff, and the Focalized Mana Accelerator. Definitely some badass weapons in that list. My favorite is for sure the Ripper, the purple one. But they all look amazing. I really like the one that's currently on screen right now as well. There's also some new belts with the Trala style. So this is the Embrace of the Great Dark Beyond. So this would be a great match for warlocks. The Clasp of Urson Rage. This would be a good match for druids. Ultra Maphic Girdle. Good match for shamans. The Waistguard of the Infernal Eye. Good match for paladins. And the Girdle of Chilled Embers. And this would be a good match for Death Knights. Also some boots. Lost Ocolith's boots. Great match for priests. The Mad Thief's boots. A good match for rogues. Lost Ocolith's boots. With a different tint, of course. And this would be a good match for shamans. Okay, so that pretty much covers, 10.0.5 stuff. Just thought I would remind you guys about the sale that is going on. So there are actually some retiring things that are part of this sale that you might be interested in. There's a couple of mounts and a couple of pets that are retiring. It'll say right on page, and plus they have the bigger discounts, so they're more than a 50%. Another thing that is part of that sale is this time-limited heartwarming pack bundle. I wasn't going to do this one because I have everything from it. The only thing that's in there is the new transmog. I'm a shop purchaser, I have nothing against shop mounts, shop pets, or anything, so I buy them all. And so I've been pretty caught up for a while. And so I wasn't gonna do it because I don't really like that Transmog set. I think, it was something I was gonna buy like next year when it goes like 50% off. Yeah, but then I looked at the bundle, and because the bundle is like 60% off, and even with there being a new Transmog set, I ended up only paying $10 for that set. So I was like, why not? Might as well. So I do have that set now. Definitely get it through the bundle because it does, like, technically it's not on sale, but it's on sale if you buy that bundle. But if you go to purchase it separately, it's a $25 purchase, which is why I did this bundle with having everything except for it. So definitely worth it if you just like having, everything off the shop, more or less. Yeah. As for other games that are on sale, all the Call of Duties are on sale. Diablo has a sale going on. Overwatch 2 Watchpoint Pack has a sale. StarCraft, everyth's on sale. The Blizzard Arcade Collection is 50% off, and Crash Bandicoot is 50% off, which is the fourth one. It's about time. That's what it's called. I'm not saying it's about time. It's Crash 4. It's about time. Also, amount I'll mention that is not on sale. It's full price, but Tyrael's Charger made a return last week. It was right after I did the last WoW Weekly video, or else it would have been in that video. You can buy it for $25. I had this one for a long time. I've been playing the game for a long time, so I had originally gotten Tyrael's Charger 10 years ago. When D3 was coming out, they had done a annual pass, which was, to sub for 1 year. I think it was the first one they'd ever done that was for a year. Sub packs weren't like too terribly popular back then. And you got Tyrael's Charger in it, as well as a free copy of D3. And it gave you beta access for the next expansion that was releasing. I remember while I did play D3 and I did really want Tyrael's Charger, I remember the biggest reason was that I wanted to play the beta for the next expansion because back then, betas were very, very rare. You know, you pretty much absolutely had to be friends with someone on the Blizzard team, or you had to work there yourself in order to get beta access. Yeah, it wasn't typically handed out to the general public. Streamers weren't really, I won't say they weren't a thing, but it was very, very rare. No one really, yeah, streamers didn't get shit back then. So, so yeah, it was kind of the way to get into beta access easily. It was the first real time a higher majority of the public could get in there. So yeah, it was a really good deal back then. Um, I could totally see how some people might have missed it because a year of sub is a good chunk of money right up front. And yeah, and especially if you're Canadian. So yeah, but for those that maybe didn't play back then or you missed purchasing it, you can just go purchase it on the shop. In live servers, there's a new mailbox toy that's available. It's through the Centaur rewards. So it's called a Huna Perch. I find this kind of useless because I do have Katie's stamp whistle, but if you don't have Katie's stamp whistle, then this honestly is, probably an easier one. I found Katie was easy to get too, but you don't have to go through like a bunch of quest lines. You could just like wait till you're renowned 14 because that's what you would need. And then there's a quick little quest you do, and it'll get you your toy. There's a 3-hour cooldown on it, and it stays out for 10 minutes, which is exactly how Katie's whistle works. That one also has a 3-hour cooldown and is out for 10 minutes. I feel like Molly is the better one though, because it stays out for 10 minutes and has a 1-hour cooldown. So like if we're gonna do a comparison between the three, Molly wins 100%. Just the difference is you need to be engineer for Molly, whereas Katie and Ohuna could be brought out by any character. So it does share a cooldown with the other two mailboxes. And the last piece of news I thought we would talk about is this roadmap that they laid out for us. I think it's a very ballsy for them to put out a roadmap. They must feel like they have their shit together this expansion. You know it's been a rough road for them. They had the lawsuit going on, and then there was a lot of removing things in game because of that, and then COVID was also going on during the last expansion, and yeah, so there's definitely been some bumps in the road for them. But the fact that they laid out a roadmap suggests that they feel pretty confident. I think it's important to note that even while we have this roadmap, um, things can happen, and this is one reason why I've never believed that anyone should have a roadmap. It's cool, and I'm sure some people appreciate it, but a roadmap to me is well, we have New Year's coming up. I'll compare it to that. It's like making New Year's resolutions. Like, how many times do people make New Year's resolutions and then they don't do a single thing that they said that they were going to do during those resolutions, right? And I personally feel it's better to be surprised than disappointed. And yeah, so cool that they've laid it out. But it'll be cooler if they actually follow it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I guess they are buying themselves a little bit of time by not putting actual dates. They're just putting seasons. So they're definitely covering their ass with that. Okay, so winter Trading Post, Primalist tomorrow, and White and Gray Transmogs. Um, they make it seem pretty minor in that list, but I'm just gonna say, as someone who's been on the PTR and reports on news, there's gonna be more than just those three things, you know? Like, yeah, they make it seem pretty mellow there, but there's definitely more in the mix. But those are the basics, and we're probably going to see that patch in February because just the way the trading post is, I had mentioned it in the last video that a lot of things are love is in the air focused, which implies that we would have that patch by February. So we're going to have that one pretty shortly. Spring 10.0.7, Return to Forbidden Reach, which I think is a great one. I was wondering if Forbidden Reach was gonna be like Worgen's starting area and be, practically dead on arrival. you know? So very cool. Human and orc heritage armor and holiday updates. Unfortunate that the holiday updates weren't there before the major holiday, but cool nonetheless. Then after we will get season 2, and that'll bring in new zone, new raid, new PvP season, new Mythic Plus, profession updates, and user interface improvements. Patch 10.1.5, Mega Dungeon. I think we all knew, even if you had never heard them mention that they're doing one for Dragonflight. I know myself, I just assumed we were getting a Mega Dungeon because we have since BFA. BFA was the first Mega Dungeon, and then they did it for Shadowlands, and yeah, it just seems to be a thing that is part of the expansions now. So, Mega Dungeon and world events and content and system updates. I'm curious about the world events one, if that means that a new world event is coming into play or if they're just updating stuff in current. It could also mean Dragonflight world events. 10.1.7 will be in the fall. We're going to have new story and quests, holiday refresh, and content and system updates. They are really planning for a lot of system updates because if you look at season 2, we have user interface improvements. And then the next 2 minor patches are going to have system updates. And then even in season 3 at the bottom, you see, content and features. Yeah. And I'm just going to say there is going to be some UI improvements in the winter one. It doesn't say it in there, but I've already seen it. So there will be some UI improvements in that one. So that brings us to season 3. Patch 10.2, and that'll be a new zone, new raid, new PvP season, new Mythic Plus dungeon pool, and additional content and features. I think overall the roadmap is good. It's good that they're throwing those minor ones in. Definitely seems like we have more minor ones because it's usually a minor and then a major and then a minor and then a major, right? Like that's typically how it goes. So I think it'll be easier to keep the community happy off of 2 minor and a major because while I have always felt like I'm behind in WoW and I just, I've never been one of those people that's like, oh, the patch is taking so long. I've just like, I always have so much shit to do in the game that honestly, I feel like they come too quickly. But at least with these 2 minor patches, that might keep most of the community a little happier. And honestly, I think they've probably improved just off the fact that they're showing them that they're at least gonna try to do these, in the time. I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to because like only 2 of those are major major patches. So having these little minor patches will help them, like honestly, you don't got to give the community too much. You just give them a little bit at a time and they'll be happy. It'll take them a bit to like get, upset and like, I would think by now they kind of know how long, because the community is like a toddler kid, really. They're patient for a little bit and then and then they're not, and I think this will help with that. Okay, so that covers the news. My accomplishments this week was that I finally had my egg open up, which is different than eggs we've gotten in the past, but it was the egg for a mount, and normally you open up the egg, and this time it just the mount just kind of happened, I didn't have to click the egg or anything. So I did get the Zarian hatchling mount. That is this guy right here. Yeah. Oh, and I did get my mage to level 70. So the mage is level 70 now. Gonna bring in a new alt soon. I just haven't decided which one. And since I have stuff to do on the main right now, I think I'm good with just the mage at the moment. But I do believe that we are gonna bring in the jewel crafter next, just because I could use some gems, and my jewel crafter is my hunter, so I think the hunter is gonna be the next being leveled. And that's the WoW Weekly this week. So I hope you had a great week. And we will see you in stream on Wednesday for some more failed world boss farms. And yeah, apparently everyone has luck except for me. I'm like always having comments, oh, I have all the mounts now. And then people in stream, yeah, I got all the mounts, or I'm down to one. Meanwhile, I still only have one of them, so... And it's not from lack of trying. I bring all the alts over there. And, yeah, so, yay for those people that have fucking good luck, I guess. But yeah, anyway, that calls it. I'm out of here. We will see you in the next stream or the next video, whichever you decide to join. And, have a great week, guys. Bye.